Oh, I am live. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Just a second. Okay, testing, testing. Sorry, I had a bit of echo on my end. I just had to figure out which source it was coming from. Welcome everyone. I'm Dollar Free. Yeah, I'll be starting off with a little bit of chatting, but well, I'm starting off in this menu for the moment because I've got to get the game booted up. Give me a second, please. Yeah, welcome, Mancod. Sorry, welcome. How you doing today? Yeah, today I kind of just want to take things nice and easy. It's a little bit of a ramble, a little bit of a. Yeah, I'll mostly be doing a lot of rambling. I do apologize. I'm very good at going on tangents if given the opportunity. Welcome to me. Thanks for actually, thank you both for stopping by. Okay. So on Saturday, let me just make sure I've got things going up here. All right. Now let me try this. I press this button. No, hold on. I'm gonna have to do this manually. It turns out of all the days for my Stream Deck to freeze, it's decided to freeze up today. I'm not sure what's going on, but I can always do this manually. There we are. So, it's a good question. How long will I be gone for? Also, I love the intro for this. Just a slow zoom in. And also, I think I should mention, I'll get back onto the question first though. How long will I be gone for? The answer is simply, I don't know how long I'll be gone for. And that is because from everything that I want to do, sorry, I'm gonna, my stream deck's not working. I wish I could mute myself on easier. For everything that I want to do, I do not know how long it's going to take me, or once I complete those things, what I want to do back in the current time. Well, in that time. If this is one of those things where I don't know about the future. If I decide to come back to streaming here, you might see some random notification from someone out of the blue, or if you've unsubscribed, that's still fine. I might come back. Or I might do something like set up a new channel, which is far more professional, far more carefully managed, something about moding, etc., etc. It's basically, I don't know.
Did you smell the dried fish I have?
Other question, how am I going? I'm doing all right today. A little bit sore. Long story short, one of the things I've been working on over time is, hold on, which way am I going? Going to the gym. And going to the gym is never fun if you're busting your gut out. Okay. Am I setting up Discord this week? Yes, I will. Though I will talk about that not this stream, but definitely by Ender Lilies. So expect Friday. As for the new channel, that is well up in the air, but I don't exactly know if I would or would not. I will say that I'm not going to get rid of this channel. I don't want to get rid of this channel because I think it serves as a really good looking point for where I've gotten up to in terms of understanding how to stream, understanding how to produce content. You've got school tomorrow? That's all right then. You need to head out, that's all fine. Also, I do apologize if the effects get a little flashy. I'll just briefly show. I'm running this game at like full settings. So like everything is cranked up to the absolute maximum. Except for motion blur. Would the new channel be about reacting? No, more than likely not. I don't think... Actually, this is a really... Nah, it's all good. It's afternoon. Okay. Okay, I'll talk about React channels. And this is a really interesting thing that's come up with YouTube. React channels blurred this very, very fine line between, I guess I'll call it, copyright infringement and transformative work. Remember that the nature of a React channel is one where you actively view someone else's content and then are expected to react to said content in real time. Now, part of the act of reacting to something is showing what you are reacting to. So this might be a video. This might be a music clip. Also, I'm going to fast travel. This might be like gameplay footage or something else like that. But where things get really questionable in terms of copyright is whether the act of reacting to something alone is enough to be transformative or not. Now, the act of, for example, playing Elden Ring, talking over the game, or playing any other game, talking with it, you can argue that the act of talking and playing commentary in itself may be transformative. But the issue is, with React channels, is that the person who has produced the original content still has a claim to it.
Well, look who I bumped into. A Midnight Ranger.
Oh yes, I do play in English subtitle, English voices because I'm lazy. React channels are kind of lazy, but you like the ones where they analyze and have funny moments. And that's the sort of thing, right? Some channels really know how to draw into that, but it's the ability to create that energy as someone who's actually generating the excitement and the sort of the vibe of reacting to something. It's why you often see the very overblown, hyperactive reactions. Or
Rover, you're finally here.
you have content that is being reacted to by people who are experts in the field. One of the ones that I kind of love, actually, for React channels is music song reaction channels.
So you're the Rover, huh? Delighted to make your acquaintance.
So, for example, a music song reaction channel will listen to a song and try to break down the song. Oh, no. It's not about... See, here's the thing, right? If we're talking about reacting to videos, like viral videos or something like that, that's a very different style of reacting. Oh, yeah. No emotion while they're talking, seen some horrible reactions where they sit and say, watch things and don't say jack.
Like
I'd be honest, I'd be kind of like that. I'm kind of like this wet noodle when it comes to looking at viral videos. I look at it and go, right, that was neat. Let's move on. It's not my forte. You get someone who's far more energetic reacting to something like that, and you'll get far more excitement. Whereas the style of reaction that I might have to something is a little different. I'm a little bit more analytical when I look at things. I sit down and I try to break things down in the best way that I can, even if I fumble over half of my words. But it kind of gives me the same, kind of like the style of reacting where it's looking at things from that analytical sense. Like you see people who say nothing, but there's no reason to watch it. Exactly. And then this is the fine line between reacting as, like, say, copyright infringement versus something as reacting as a transformative work. And that's always the key part. Whether what you have produced is enough to transform the original work, that is the original viral video or the original song or the original something else going on,
clues about hidden antiques, of
and
course.
turn it into something that is distinct in its own right.
Artifacts from there popping up in the market.
You ever get time, would you like to look into... Take a look into Eyes Behind the Wall by Orchid. You've been eager to know its meaning, can't find the lyrics or meaning. Maybe it could come up later on, but I wouldn't say today. Today's more just the chance to ramble. I'll talk, however, about something very recent that it only happened within the last
Aside
week.
from Court of Savante
Now, here's
gadgets,
a question.
there are still plenty of mystery
How
items
many
that
people
don't
know
exactly
about
scream Mount Firmament, you
VTubing
know?
or VTubers? Because what I'm going to talk about relates to VTubers, but I kind of need to know whereabouts people understand what VTubing is.
So I'm betting they're from the port city of Guizhou.
Yes. I remember you mentioned wanting to learn more about your past ties to the Black Shores.
There's some water. But either way, what I'm getting to is this. There's a very big VTuber who goes by the name Iron Mouse. And Iron Mouse has a YouTube channel. They mostly stream on Twitch. The YouTube channel serves as much as a VOD channel. But last week, their channel got taken down for multiple copyright strikes. Because a lot of the videos on that channel, got someone here who knows what VTubers are. Exactly. But Iron Mouse's YouTube channel got taken down last week for multiple copyright strikes. And a lot of the content on Iron Mouse's channel is React style content, which is something you can get away with a bit easier on Twitch, because Twitch does not store VODs or archives for more than a certain amount of time. But once it goes up onto YouTube, it can sit there for months or years. Like, I'm sure in, give it like 5 years, and you'll be able to go to find a video on YouTube that is 20 years old or something like that. However long it is. Actually, I wouldn't say 5 years. I'd say maybe like 8 to 9 years, something like that. But because a lot of that content was it's React style content, it makes it very easy for people who own the copyright to just mass report the content.
The battle in
And
Norfolk Barrens
in
is
YouTube
over,
terms,
and the
if you
Black
take
Shores should
3
be withdrawing.
copyright strikes against your
They've
channel,
asked
your
the
channel gets
Midnight
removed.
Rangers to monitor the area
Now-
around the port city of Guizhou.
Now, you go look up Iron Mouse's channel now on YouTube, and you'll find that it's back up. But Iron Mouse is a incredibly successful VTuber by all regards. And Iron Mouse has the social pull and the influence to be able to get her channel put back up. If you ever hear VTuber channel getting struck down, you thought it's being too sexual. Actually, that happens a lot on Twitch. That's on Twitch itself. On YouTube, it's mostly like copyright stuff or ASMR, which is a whole separate kettle of fish. YouTube does not like
To gather
ASMR.
more information about them.
But yeah, that's the reason why I don't think React channels have longevity. You're constantly, unless you've got the kind of personality who can really do that hyper-reactive style content, you're not going to be able to pull it off consistently. You can't continually generate the energy to react to things over and over in this very hyperactive manner. Oh, this is so hype. Oh, this is the wildest thing ever, etc., etc., etc.
You brought it
Even
up
the
before.
music review channels that I've watched along in the past,
Yang Yang's
they're
got
now
a soft
starting to
spot for
branch
you,
out
huh?
into other
Were
sorts
you
of
her
content.
special someone?
And like, for example,
come
one of the ones
on.
that I've watched,
I
who's like this
just know it
retired
means a
music
lot to
producer
you.
who's got like this 20-year catalog of background music, they're now doing streaming on the side because you can't just keep reacting over and over. I just don't think reacting as a channel basis is strong enough to be sustainable as a professional YouTube/Twitch career. Maybe Twitch, but definitely not YouTube. Alright, question. Does curry have peanut oil? Depends how the curry's
Relax,
made.
I'm
I'm gonna
just
be honest.
teasing.
If it's Indian curry,
You're tracking the
would
Black
be.
Shores
If
too.
it's like Thai curry, If it's Thai curry, more than likely not.
Since we're on the same trail, how about teaming up? Let this master be your guide. You and me, dream
Yeah.
team. Nothing's
I
gonna
also
slow
guess
us
it
down.
depends on... Yeah, it really depends on who's making it. But yeah, I don't really eat Indian curry.
Not to boast, but epic adventures tend to have a way of finding me.
What, you're thinking of having curry yourself? Or you're just looking at the menus around the place?
Since Rover's here, let's talk to that bloom bearer first.
Alright. Might as well ramble. So, why am I playing Wuthering Waves at the moment? Number one is... Well, A, it doesn't take much brain power. Yeah, it depends on the curry you get. Again, there's different styles of curry. So, Wuthering Waves doesn't take me a lot of brain power. Like, just for reference, I've done my dailies for today. It's a gacha game. You always have dailies. So there's a favorite game from your suggestion and the same. Yeah, no. Wondering about curry. Curry's always nice. Like I said, I can't speak for Indian curries, but from Thai curries, I'll talk like a nice solid banana curry is always nice.
That's weird. These parameters are correct, but
Also,
nothing's
you've got a
happening.
favorite game from your suggestions.
going
Which
on?
one was that one?
Yes. Need something? Oh, so you're the one Alto invited earlier.
Message. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Also,
sorry.
this game...
I didn't
So,
recognize
number one,
you.
game doesn't take a lot of brain power for me to play, because the controls are fairly simple enough for me to get.
Golden pupils
Number two,
and this Blake bloom.
British
Yeah, it's you all
accents.
right.
I like to riff on British food, but I'll not riff on a good British accent in video games. Is there a game you like from my suggestions? That is a good question.
I'm Nia, a bloom bearer from the Black Shores. Didn't expect
I'm going
to
to be
meet someone
very
as important
honest.
as you under these
The
circumstances.
one that I really, really liked, and I'm super glad you did suggest it because I really enjoyed it. I liked The Voidness. That LiDAR scanning game. It was super... It's short. And it's not overwhelmingly difficult. But it is such a cool concept to utilize. Which is utilizing the LiDAR scanner and trying to pick up light in order to detect your way through an environment in which you would otherwise not have visibility. I know they've got another game out as well, which is like more like a cave exploration one, also using LiDAR. No. This is just one of them. I really kind of like that one though. It sticks out to me. I'd have to probably look through because I know there are some suggestions as well from some of like the mystery streams and stuff. But whenever I think of like a really good suggestion, I do like that one.
I know it's unusual, but
I've definitely
you
got
help me
other
out now
ones
that
that
we're
have been
working
suggested that
together?
I'm like, this is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going back through this.
really? But
I'm just in the
Uncle
middle of
mentioned you'd be
streaming at the
joining
moment,
soon.
so the setup's a little bit unusual on my end because with Wuthering Waves, it's playing full screen, and I'm playing full screen on one screen, but I can't move the game to the other screen, so my layout's a little bit different, and I don't want to go fiddling around too much.
Actually, we're monitoring abnormal
Do I have a good
parameters and
Spanish
detected
name
a
in mind?
problematic frequency that needs to be taken back to the
Honestly,
Black Shores.
no. I don't have a good Spanish name. Are we talking like a Spanish name for a generic NPC, or are you looking like a major character, like in... Because the other one you can always do is like look up some of the names of like famous Spanish people, and then yeah, I'd probably say go look up the names of like some famous Spanish people and play around with that and see what kind of fits.
The port city of Guishu was
But
decimated by
I'm
the
definitely
lament.
not
If this frequency goes unchecked,
overwhelmingly on
it
top
could
of
trigger
Spanish.
another
Like,
catastrophe.
I don't think Eduardo is a good name at all for a major character. If it was an NPC, you could go something basic like Eduardo or Miguel or something else like that.
Yes, that's why the Tethys system sent us to locate and recover this frequency as soon as possible, to prevent a potential disaster. Our agents relayed the coordinates, but
Okay, so...
since then I've lost contact with them, which doesn't sit well. I'm stuck here monitoring, can't leave my post.
Am I going to play Fragile? Hold on, let me pop this down. I gotta remind myself on Fragile, because the other thing as well is I'm a little bit loath to drop cash on the last week. I'm gonna be honest. Oh wait, hold on. That's a... Hold on, that's a mobile game. I don't think that's gonna work. I know... Like, I could technically play the game... So, just for reference here, Fragile is like some mobile game. Technically on Steam as well. Technically got put out on Steam as well. I'm a little loath to play it. Like, I'm looking at the mature content warnings and I'm going, oh boy. Like, I wonder... Like, I'm looking at some of the reviews. Some of the reviews are like, it's a really good game to play. But then others are like, the game's got issues with its optimization. And I take maybe both as being correct here. The game might have a very interesting core to it. But because it's designed for mobiles and then ported to PC on Steam, it might not be as well optimized as what it theoretically should be. Either way, though, I'm probably going to lean against playing it.
Do you think you could help check out what happened?
Just because I'm looking at the subject matter and going, yeah, there's violence in the game, but it also involves you playing as a child character. And the themes around the game of like...
If things aren't looking good, we
know,
might need to inform Jinjo City Hall.
If it's
like
a
we did
game
before.
where game overs are depicted as your character dying, but you're playing as a child character, that's like... Oh, hold on. Yeah, I might honestly say that I probably...
You'll need to act
I
fast then.
probably won't play it.
That's the worst case scenario. If we contain
I
the
think there's, like,
frequencies that
games
Tethys
like
system advises,
Little
nothing bad
Nightmares.
will
I think
happen.
Little Nightmares does it, or there might be other games where they handle the concept of playing as a child and are dealing with game overs in a way that doesn't necessarily resort to the explicit or implicit death of the child. I couldn't... There's a game... It's an older game called Limbo. Imagine like a 2D platformer with horror elements, not really as much
I want
combat.
to help her. As an
But
outrider, it's
I
my
think
duty to
Limbo,
safeguard the
you
peace.
play as a child, and because of that, I couldn't really get into the game.
Thank you. It's
That's also
reassuring to have a
I
midnight ranger
think
with us.
horror games where
I'll
you
send you the
play
coordinates
as
of
an
the abnormal
adult are
frequency.
definitely much more palatable. At least for myself. I think diving into the realm of playing as a child and then having to deal with the concepts of horror and death like that are a little bit too much. At least in that explicit manner. I mean, there are funny ways to make fun of it, like Fallout 3's got a really funny one where it makes fun of kids trying to survive in the post-apocalypse with little lamplight of all things. It's like, hey, once you hit a certain age, you get kicked out. And then you're put out in the wasteland Or you probably get eaten by super mutants or killed by raiders or something else like
Could
that.
be the reverberations or something
The
in
other
the
one where I
spheres.
think I could handle it is going to a game called This War of Mine. It's like a day-night survival-esque game which does have children in it. Like you can have a parent and a child or random strangers living together or something like that. But they don't actually really play as the kids. The adults have to do like all the work.
In Solaris, frequencies can be anything. One
And that's the sort of thing where I could go, yeah, I
this
could play
frequency
that.
represents
But
gravity.
something like what's being described in Fragile is maybe a little bit out of what I would feel comfortable with.
It's abnormal because it has its own gravitational center. You should be able to feel a palpable anomaly near it. That's how you can locate it.
Also, I kind of like this. By the way, I should mention one thing with this game. That whole area that you're seeing floating up in the sky, yeah, you can actually travel up that. You do it as part of like an earlier mission, and you do actually travel up that whole area. It's kind of cool. I might as well tangent off onto like
I trust you'll handle
open
it
world
smoothly,
games.
but remember,
I
your
feel like an
safety
open
matters
world game
most.
really
Don't
needs to
hesitate to
sell the
retreat if you
ability
run
that
into
you can
any
go
real
somewhere
danger.
and you can actually maneuver your way up to that area. That was one of the appeals of Skyrim. It's one of the appeals of like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and whatever, the Tears of the Kingdom, which is the latest one. And Elden Ring does this to an extent, but I found Elden Ring to be a little bit frustrating. I'll talk about that in just a moment though. Designing maps, you think you might be making it too complex. Are complex maps a good idea? I would say rather than being complex, they have to be intuitive. You have to be able to have a player sit down through a map and go, right, I can see there's like all these areas, but if I travel from here to here, so A to B to C to D to E, I'll naturally find my way through to the end. Or I may travel through these paths and there might be some doors that I have to unlock with some keys that I pick up or statues that I have to break along the way. But if I travel down to the end of that path, I might pick up a power-up or an important quest item or something like that. Complexity is fine if done in moderation, but what should be more clear is the intuitiveness of the direction that you are going in.
And once you're back, we'll hurry
If
to the
you put someone
Black
down
Shores
in the
to upload
middle
it
of
to
a
the tether
map,
system.
like
Oh,
so let's just say a
I
castle
forgot you
or a
haven't been to the
tower,
Black Shores, have you?
and the castle goes multiple ways up and down, and it's not clear to someone which way they're meant to go, that's where things get a little bit tricky. You've got a safe area since it's Souls-like, you had to put it in. So something like, say, Blasphemous or Ender Lilies, where you have save points around the place. Actually, it's kind of funny in a way.
No worries. I'll be your guide then.
I'm going to tangent off the whole open world nature of games. And I want to tangent into one of the, maybe, I think, one of the more solid criticisms I have of Souls-like games. Yeah, so one of the more solid criticisms that I have of Souls-like games as they have become nowadays is that the games are very, very keen to have elements of Souls-like games. Things like limited healing, save/rest points/level up points, respawning enemies, dodging stamina mechanics, etc., etc., etc. One of the things, though, that I feel is a genuine criticism of Souls-like games is that they do not... Like, the limited healing limits your ability to explore a map. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's just take Ender Lilies. I rest at a rest point, and I have 3 healing flasks. Each healing flask heals me for about half my HP. But I then enter a room, and there are like 8 to 12 enemies that I have to deal with in my path. And if I get hit, I lose like a quarter to a third of my health. If I take 2 hits, I have to use a healing item. I then go another room, another room, another room. And it could be like anywhere from 6 to 8 to even 10 rooms before I find another respite point. But I've only got 3 healing flasks. The nature is, a Souls-like game like Ender Lilies or even Dark Souls or anything like that, it becomes very easy to try and trap the player in an environment where they have a limited healing resource, and you effectively tell them you're going to have to get good at dodging the enemies or beating the enemies in order to make it through to the next respite point. There's a little bit too much frustration when there's this feeling of an imbalance between the amount of damage you take and your ability to recover from said damage. Especially in games like Ender Lilies, where
Did you smell the dried fish I have?
you don't have a shield by default. It's either parry or dodge. And also you have contact damage. If we take Dark Souls as the original game, Dark Souls... Well, I'll talk about that because I'm just onto that point. If we take Dark Souls as the original game, Dark Souls starts you off with 5... Like, that's the view of the area in the daytime. It's a little bit dark at the moment, but it kind of just looks cool. And also you can see like the theater in the background. So Dark Souls has 5...
I sense the presence of tacit discords below.
Yep, please.
What's the big deal? Just some pawns. I won't even break a sweat.
Something feels different about them. Be careful.
So here comes the flashy bits. So Dark Souls 1, I should say, has 5 flasks as default. Oh, hold on. 5 flasks as default. And you can get up to 10 if you use a human effigy.
Hear the thunder.
Dark Souls 2, you have like 1 flask or 2 flasks at the start of the game, maybe 3 flasks, but you have life gems. And then Bloodborne has 20 healing flasks plus flurry, which is when you attack an enemy, you recover part of your health, which is up the grey health. Dark Souls 3, however, is a little bit of an odd one. And this carries into Elden Ring, where you only have like 3 healing flasks. And if we take Elden Ring, for example, again, one of my gripes of Elden Ring, if you start off with 3 healing flasks, whether it's red flasks or blue flasks, the items that upgrade the flasks don't naturally align with your directed progression through the game. And I'm just going to start with the run up to Godric the Grafted. So, you go through your tutorial area, you die, you leave, you go to and you start off in Limgrave. You go through the tutorial area.
What?
And you get told...
Look for survivors, quick!
And you get told, alright, in order to get to the Round Table Hold, you need to beat Godric the Grafted. Or you need to beat, if you want to get any further, beat Godric. You go, make your way up north. You go north, you hit a area where there's a merchant, and you can buy stuff. You go north again to the next one, which is just the Stormfront Gate, or whatever it is.
So they're the agents Neil was waiting for.
And you get your horse. Now, it's not clear in progression terms, but you can go back to the area with the merchant, and you can meet, what's her name? Rani, and you can go get your item to summon spirits. But your intended progression, you go up
here?
from where you get your horse, you go left, travel along the path, and you get past all the enemies, and you'll find yourself at Market the Fell. Let's just say eventually you beat Market the Fell. You then make your way from Market the Fell. You hit Stormfront Castle straight away, and from there you make your way through Stormfront Castle until you fight Godric the Grafted and beat Godric. Nowhere in that line of progression will you pick up an item that either increases the number... I think actually you might pick up a single item that increases your potential number of flasks, and you pick up nothing that is related to increasing the power of your flasks. Elden Ring has this thing where the map is quite a large size and it has to try and fill out the whole area, so it puts things all over the place in... Oh, I don't know what's going on in this game. If you're going to have things like upgrades and stuff like that, they have to be in a logical progression. They have to make sense to the player. You can't just put them nilly-willy all over the place, like unfortunately what happens in Elden Ring. Please don't do that. So how does 8 healing flasks as the base sound? That's going to come down to a couple of things. Number 1, how much does each flask heal for? Number 2, how much does each damage do in the respective area? And C, are players expected to get healing upgrades along the way? Like you could say, oh, you could start off with 10 flasks or 8 flasks or something like that. But if every enemy that you're fighting in those areas is dealing like half your health, that's effectively saying to the player, you have 8... You can take 8 hits. You can take 9 hits before you die. Something like that. That's one of those things I wouldn't worry too much right now, because that's going to start diving into game details when you still need to work out story details and your maps and other things like that. The actual tweaking of damage numbers, the tweaking of how much you heal, how much you start off with, that can happen much later in the game development cycle.
Yes.
Like you might say, all right, we have 3 healing flasks as a player, but every time they beat an enemy, it recovers a portion of a charge. And then when a charge is full, you get a full flask.
We are the gravitational force you seek.
By the way, why are we talking to a dead person possessing a dead body?
Time is running out. Hoda. My name is Hoda.
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all good.
This is my name. I once lived under it as a bloom bearer.
Okay.
Which one of us are you talking to? Men or women? Elders?
While I wait for the echoing to stop here, I'll just talk about one of the things about this Wuthering Waves as well very briefly. It may not look like it, but Wuthering Waves is sci-fi. Should all the bosses have different tracks? Ideally, yes, but you can also get away with remixes or upgrades to a track. So for example, you've got the boss that you were saying you intend to have fight multiple times, right? And you have like and you can start off with a very basic version of that track first time round. The second fight, it builds up again, and in the third fight, it builds up yet again, but it's still distinctively that boss's track.
Do you hear the echoes of our lament?
Yeah, I should mention, this game's very sci-fi basis, though it doesn't look like it at all. It sounds super fantasy. But it relies on a... Oh, just talking about this before I read up on it. It relies on it... Like, the basis of the game is tied to an actual sound phenomenon and the reverberations of sound. It's just that this game takes it to like an incredible extreme, which is that sound reverberations can actually manipulate reality in varying ways. Not just the first boss fight, but the second boss fight as well, right? So the second time you fight him, you can have it very basic as a first fight, nothing special, because especially if it's intended to be a lost fight, but it's enough to convey that it is that character's boss fight. Then when you fight the character on, say, the second time, you could have the track start off as the first track and then build into the second track, say, when the boss gets down to halfway on the health, like what happens in something like Ender Lilies, where the track changes halfway through. And that builds the expectation on the player, all right, we're going to ramp up, this is going to be serious. Guess what? The boss runs away again. You have to fight the boss a third time, and then the third time is a much more built up, much more fleshed out. Like, let's just say you're using full orchestral sounds or full electronica or full heavy metal track, but it's still distinctively that boss's track. If you've got a basic boss enemy, you can have like a couple of tracks around the place and maybe reuse them. Like if they're just meant to be like a one-off mini boss or smaller boss style enemy, you don't necessarily, you might be able to get away with just having a handful of tracks. Like if they're a boss in this area, here's the boss track for that area compared to the regular track. But when it comes to your named bosses, your important bosses, that's when you should be putting in the work at that stage. Again, the development of the tracks is something that can happen much later on. Also, main character here, very quickly, is like someone who previously lived in this world and then left for some reason, and this was like hundreds of years ago. So your character's like super old. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good.
No. They want you to become a part of them. I can't let it happen. Run! What you seek is on the girl. She has it.
Ugh, what does any of this have to do with me?
Okay, British short stack, what are you doing?
Where did it go? No, wait! Don't go over there! The remaining frequency there is in extreme chaos.
Also,
It's dangerous.
long-haired, blue outfit girl can pick up sound frequencies. She's actually one of the better companions you have.
Hold on! Hey, what's happening? It's starting to glow! It must be from the Black Shores. Look at this!
Alright, what are we doing? It's a frequency. Again, the idea of
I
sound
need to learn
and
more
sound waves
about
and
this
reverberations
thing.
manipulating
My master and I
reality.
guessed it's from the Black
Like,
Shores,
literally
and now
affecting
it looks
reality.
Like we were right.
There's things like rain that falls backwards, creating phantoms of previous incidents where the phantoms go
The
completely
abnormal
berserk.
frequency definitely links to the deaths of those bloom bearers. Now it's hiding in this object, but I can still feel its strong attachment to the Black Shores. Solving this issue is beyond our capabilities. Besides, they also mentioned Rover and the fall of the port city of Guishu.
We should meet with that bloom bearer first and explain the situation. This is best left to the experts.
Someone's got a smart head. Usually,
Let's go.
you know,
I have
a lot of games
bad
might be like,
feeling about
oh, we'll
this.
try to solve this on our own. No, don't go Scooby-Doo mystery, gang.
I sense there's more to this than meets the eye. Port city of Guishu must hold secrets waiting to be discovered.
Alright, what is this? The device used by the Black Shores to monitor the status of each of the sentinels. HL1 meter reads 0. Also, fun things you can do in the game. Gravity doesn't matter. You can jump down and take only a couple of points of damage. That's okay. I'm going to start rambling about Elden Ring right now.
Whoa.
Elden Ring tries to give the feel of being able to explore varying areas and being very good at exploring those. But because
Up there!
of the way fall damage works, because of the way because of the way fall damage works, because of the way your save points work, that's tied to your sites of grace, it makes it hard to want to take risks in Elden Ring and like dive off areas, because you can never tell when something's just suddenly going to turn into like a death box. Also, we have teleported by the looks of it.
The wandering traveler. At last, you have returned. Here, the story both ends and begins anew.
Also, more British.
I am pleased to see you back.
And I'm looking at
on
those
these
shoes going, they're
shores.
super... They must be super uncomfortable.
Wherever you venture,
No heel
be it
support on high
Huanglong
heels?
or Rinascita, I will always be here,
Rinascita is
waiting.
a new word that I haven't heard. It must be another country.
No matter how far you wander, you will always find me here on these black shores.
Now I'm just listening to the music. Where's Star Slump? Just want to listen to the music and explore it. So this is a new area that came out just like a couple of days ago. Let's see. Relative to wherever we are, we're up here. No map, of course. Like, okay. Let me walk through the cave first, and I start getting my thoughts. One of the things that I think Elden Ring does right is the portrayal of different environmental areas, and the fact that no area necessarily feels incomplete or undercooked or underdeveloped. It's not like I'm talking about, say, under Dark Souls 1 underneath Blighttown, where you have the Ash Lake, or Lost Izalith in general, where things feel a little bit undercooked. Every area feels like it's intentionally developed in a certain way. But that said, areas can feel kind of empty.
Let me be your blade. Tempest! Don't worry.
Tear me to pieces. Watch and learn. You're not getting away.
And I think that's one of the smarter things. You've got to have a game that feels like every area is intentionally developed. Let me drop down. Yeah, if every area feels intentionally developed, then that's a really good starting point for a open world game.
Found what you're looking for? Good.
The thing is, intentionally developed, again, doesn't help if the game world feels empty. And I think the biggest offender that I have actually comes from the Elden Ring DLC. And there are the two areas that are
Might come in handy later.
pretty notable as being very empty. One area is Cerulean Coast, where Cerulean Coast has almost nothing to it except for that one unusual pathway that leads down through to another super long area that leads to where Saint Trina is.
Yeah.
And the other area that feels super empty is that Madness Forest, where aside from the challenge of dealing with the guys who are invincible until you parry them, that there's like nothing else in those areas.
Finally out of the cave.
This character's just an additional
Why is
narrator.
the fog still so thick? I can't even see you.
Because you're at Veiled Rock. Your vision is veiled. Now, how about explaining what brings you here, uninvited guests?
Oh, we've met this character before.
What?
Oh, accidentally skipped there.
Is it really you? No. Don't let this be a dream. At last! You've come to me! To the Black Shores!
Yeah, so this guy's a Black Shores member. You meet him early on in
Precisely.
the initial story. Actually, you don't meet him early on in the initial story. You meet him about
How
halfway
did you
through.
manage to get here? I see. The situation doesn't look good. That Hoda might not be one of us. But I'm curious. Could I have a look at that item the antique dealer gave you? Huh. Didn't expect to see it outside Mount Firmament. A monitoring register. We Black Shores members place these around the world to keep an eye on the Sentinels. If anything happens to them, we'll know immediately.
And Sentinels, don't worry too much about it.
Looks like it was
Oh, we've
also
met
used
one
to record
Sentinel.
abnormal frequencies in the port city of Guishu. Maybe the Tethys system has a soft spot for you. But without more details, I can't say for sure. Since your arrival, has anything unusual caught your eye? A person in light blue. Huh. Could it be the shorekeeper? Yes, the elusive guardian of the Black Shores, who is said to be always watching our true leader, shielding us from danger. It seems you've had quite the encounter. In times of great adversity, the shorekeeper will reveal herself and support our true leader, who, at the destined moment, will arise to save and guide the Black Shores. Fantastical or not, that's all we've got to go on.
Just as a reminder, we are the main character of the game.
There must be a reason she went to such lengths for you. Anyway, let's not get carried away. We should head to the greenhouse. The abnormal frequency you collected needs to be uploaded to the Tethys system as soon as possible, in order to avoid another lament in the port city of Guishu. Given that we've already lost enough of our own to it, we need more bloom bearers to handle this.
Also, I am very surprised early in the dub for this game, because the names are all Chinese for the cities and locations, you could have multiple characters pronounce a location very differently. This time they've been pretty consistent on the
As
name
for
of
the
this port
information
city.
you're after, it's already spread this far. Seems like the Tethys malfunction is getting worse. we need to hurry. Time is one luxury we do not have. Let's save the rest for the road.
Alrighty. I just want to get to exploring more of the area, to be honest. What the heck is this? Oh, that's so cool. Hey, welcome back, welcome back. Don't mind me, I'm just walking alongside this robot. I don't know what this robot is, but it kind of looks cool. It's a floating, hovering box drone with a gun attached to it. I have to admit, that's kind of cool. Also, I should talk about sound design while we're here, and we've been talking about music lately. Set pieces really need to give a certain emotion to them. That you need to try and evoke a certain reaction that's the thing. Music has to evoke a reaction that supplements the visual experience that someone gets from the game. Think about this area here. Areas perpetually under the lights. What could be almost in one sense considered as an aurora in the sky, or could be seen as like a sign of something far worse. Barriers all around. Buildings slightly futuristic. But the music's very subdued here. Very subdued, all things considered. Oh, you can have beautiful and dark at the same time. That's very easy to do. You want to think in terms of what you define as beauty and what you define as dark. But, I mean, the fun question is, how much do you... Like, how much music theory have you learned? This is one of the things that I'm wanting to do once I finish streaming, right? Really dive into music theory, musical understanding. Like the difference between using a major key and a minor key for something is very significant depending on the setting. Like if we talk, here's a completely off the wall example here. If we're talking, say, rap music versus drill music, which is also a form of rap, but like hip hop rap versus drill, and drill uses a lot of minor keys, whereas hip hop uses a lot of major keys, but they give very different feelings behind them just simply through the use of major versus minor. But that's the sort of thing where you want to dive into it later on, is if you're going to try and go for beautiful plus dark, beautiful is subjective. But what is dark music? Dark music, you might want to look at some other examples of dark music. Build your knowledge and try to replicate them and see, are they using major keys? Are they using minor keys? What chords are they aiming for? Listen, find videos of other people talking about the sorts of music that you might want to produce and see what they say about it. But that's the sort of thing where, yeah, the music design will come naturally over time, and I'd maybe suggest stopping to, like, while you're developing your game along the way, have a think as well about what kind of mood you want to evoke in that game. Nah, I can't run up that. Oh yeah, super fun things. Look at the traversal. Movement should be fluid. This is probably one of those things where, honestly, I really love playing Wuthering Waves for this reason. And it's because you just have this fluidity of movement that feels so good to run around in. Can you have a city being held in the air by statues IRL? No. No. That would be incredibly difficult because the statues would have to support not just the weight of the city above. Because think about how much an average house weighs. Even with modern construction materials, think about how much it would weigh back in the 1700s when it's built primarily out of things like stone as a foundation, which is surprisingly heavy. I'd say if you're gonna go for like...
Hey, can you hear me? Is that you, Rover? Are you okay? We couldn't reach you for so long. Yang was freaking out. Someone must have teleported us away from the port city of Guizhou when things went south. You know, in the blink of an eye, we were back in Jinzhou. Hey, is that the sea behind you?
Comms, Dad? Don't worry. That happens a lot around here. Black Shores sits atop a massive tacitite, wreaking havoc on standard communications. Once you reach the greenhouse, you can pass them in near a beacon. Only our beacons can cut through the tacitite's interference.
Yeah. The other thing as well you may want to consider, depending on the style of music, is getting other people to do it, maybe. Again, the game that I've been following through development, which is 34 Everlast, the trailers are all... The music used in the trailers is all from someone else. It's not their own music. Alright, let me have a look. Yeah, I wish I could get on top of those statues. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go randomly explore around the place. Rather than trying to do the main quest stuff, I'm going to spend probably the rest of this just randomly exploring. You'll have to do metal tracks for the end credits. I mean, end credits, or if you wanted to go for like final boss music, absolutely could. Oh, hold on. Temporarily inaccessible.
Careful. Feel it. Run all directions. Drop.
Don't mind me. This character is just... This character is not a DPS character.
Shot.
This character is like a support character, but I just like punching things. It's super cathartic. Yeah, so you're planning on different tracks based on the game ending. Maybe I wouldn't go that far. Don't have to make it like a full thing, because that's a lot of work. Ideally, your credits should be consistent with the music. Yeah, I think your credits should be consistent with the music. But then if you've got like little mini themes depending on the ending, that could work. But remember, even a full credits song could be like anywhere from like 3 minutes to 5 minutes long. And if you're doing the music writing, plus trying to get everyone to perform the music for the game, like if you get your band members involved, it's still a lot of work. What the heck is this? Reach data hub level 2 to unlock. Well, not sure what's going on there, but
Careful.
Let me be your blade. Tempest!
Overwhelming power.
what you described, does it sound like horror or dark fantasy?
Shot handle.
Depends, really.
Let me be your blade.
Joint operation.
I mean,
Now that's
I call
quite
Castlevania more of a dark fantasy game rather than horror fantasy. No, that's all good. That's all good. Trying to get, like, I can understand what you're going for. But I don't think Castlevania ever really delves into horror fantasy. I always feel it's more dark fantasy. Because Castlevania doesn't really lean into horror vibes. It does have horror tropes, but they're tropes. They're not meant to try and scare you or anything like that. It's just part of the setting and that's used in order to try and sell the main part of the game, which is you play as a Belmont or not a Belmont, whatever you're playing as, in order to try and beat, defeat Dracula or whatever is happening. If you're trying to go for something new, you're going to have to figure out what
Found what
really
you're
sets
looking
the
for.
distinction between horror fantasy and dark fantasy, right? And then you have to try and spin it in a way that will sell people on the idea of Castlevania as a horror fantasy game.
Careful. Maximum damage.
Let me be your blade. Let the winds roar.
Tear me to pieces.
Joint operation. Resistance is futile. Shot handle.
Oh, that feels so satisfying. That's all good. That's all good. architecture being triangular in here, very, very angular. Kind of like the aesthetic. It's angular, but not in this symmetrical way. Oh, hold on. Ooh, elevator? And if we head outside... Interesting. Elevator for some reason. I'm not sure what the benefit of it is, but... Oh, that's a lot of chests. Time to start go looting. Hence why they call it the loot mapper. Down there, I can see it.
Might come in handy later.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think I can climb the tower. But it clearly does look like it's on top of the tower. Oh, no, we can. We're going. Oh, we're not making it. We're not making that. Let's see where we need to go. I stop halfway up the tower. And then... There we go. Oh, I think I see it down there.
Careful. The maximum voltage. Shot it off.
Let me
All right. One. There it is.
Speeding up. This is the answer to our endeavor. Against the wind.
One. There we go.
This should suffice for a while. Beware. Speeding up.
Oh, hold on, hold on. Terrain? Maybe it's one of those little things where you get caught on the terrain. I'm just like
Something you need?
diving into the appearance of this place so much. This looks... And it feels really nice to play as well. But don't tell me there's one up there. I'm probably going to try and climb that thing, I tell you what. All right, let's take out the bird.
Speeding up. Tempest, Storm, hear my command.
Joint operation.
Might come in handy later. Field of
All right, all right. Let me try climbing this thing. This is gonna be fun. Oh, my voice, my voice. Hold on. Okay, we can make it up to here, but how far? Okay, I think I can see the next one. Huh. It is a long way to go to get up. Okay. Hold on, I might be able to do this as well. Where's my backpack? I've got food for this reason. Anything for that one? Do I have anything that... Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, jeez, I actually don't die. However, I did climb up onto slightly the wrong surface. That's annoying. What do I think of frame for frame remix? Oh, sorry. And also, welcome back. Welcome back. What do I think of frame for frame remix? In like what context are we talking? Well, I'm going to be here for 2 minutes anyway. It's like the same game but with realistic graphics. Or, well, you can also take that the other way around, which is the same game but demade graphics. I think they're fine as long as they're clearly intended to be like a fan-based game or something like that. I get 50, 200, 100, 100. So 100, 200, 300, 500. Cool. Yeah, I don't even think realistic graphics is the thing you have to think about when it comes to like frame for frame remakes. Like there've been remakes and remasters of all sorts of things. Two examples I'll point to are one of them you may know, which is obviously the Resident Evil series, where Resident Evil 2, 3, and now 4 have been remade in that sort of very, I guess what's the word I'll use? Like very 2D survival horror-esque. Sorry, not 2D. Like 3D survival horror-esque. Like similar to Resident Evil 7 and 8. But 3D rather than 2D. And they're like remakes. Remasters are a little bit different, and we're talking more. There's one example that I can really think of, which is... Yeah, it's 13. 13. It's like this old first-person shooter. Comic book art style. Plays a spy. It got remade. The remake was terrible. You can still buy the original though. It's like super, super dirt cheap. You found the RE2 remake well done? Like, I heard good things about the RE2 remake and the RE4 remake. RE3 was a little bit hit or miss, but the remake itself can only remake what is an otherwise average story in the original Resident Evil timeline. Like, RE3's original version was not fantastic by any means. It's a perfectly serviceable game, but it's not exactly like creme de la creme. Now the question is whether they remake Resident Evil 5 or even bother to touch Resident Evil 6. Also, what comes after Resident Evil 8 will be super interesting, because now you no longer have Ethan Winters around. You have to think about what are you going to do for your main character, whether you're going to move to Rose as a main character, or if you're going to go something else. RE5 is fine, no remake required. Well, that's the thing you could say about RE4, right? You could easily say RE4 was fine, no remake required. But they made a remake for RE4. I think Capcom might consider doing a 5 remake. But the issue is having to try and balance out the 2-player co-op that the game intends. Because every other Resident Evil game is designed as a single-player experience. But RE5 and RE6 are designed from the ground up for co-op. And if you're playing single-player on RE5, the AIs are a little bit hit and miss in terms of what it wants to do and what it unfortunately lets happen to you. RE6 needs a bit more than a remake, but I did like some of the things about RE, which is that it actually expanded out what some of the other characters were doing. Like, I genuinely did like the fact that they brought in Sherry Birkin again after all that time. And they actually put her front and center as like a main character. Because considering that she's like one of the most important characters of the original Resident Evil 2, having her front and center as like a main character for RE2 going in, because you could say Chris is RE5, Leon's RE4, Jill's been out of commission since RE5, but then you need someone from RE2, and it can't be Chris and it can't be Claire. Let's bring in Sherry. Okay, can I eat some more food, please? I've got other options as well. I can eat the other one. Jeez Louise. What is a game series that has never interested me? Five Nights at Freddy's is a very easy one to answer. There's plenty of game series that have never interested me. In fact, because there's so many game series that are out, right? We'll all have that game. Like, we could rattle off at least 10 different series of games that don't interest me. And I could point to Five Nights at Freddy's. I could point to, say, God of War actually as a series has never really interested me because I've never really had a Sony PlayStation and not gotten into it. Same thing with Gears of War as a series. Halo. Like, Halo might be one of those ones where it's like, maybe at first, but it wasn't really worth it. Same thing with Call of Duty. And then, even if I start talking about Nintendo series that, you know, I'll be talking about things like Pikmin. What's the other? I won't say Pokemon. I definitely did have a strong interest in Pokemon up until X and Y. And then I was like, no. How can you make X and Y and it looks worse than Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Like, how? Oh, actually, that's kind of neat. What? That's actually a kind of a neat effect. I'm going to be honest. Completely unnecessary. Also, you look at the moon and it's super distorted. Oh, just the little touches in this game. But yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, I think it got popular because of the oh look, jump scare, horror, limited controls. You're flicking switches and controlling power by the edge of your seat. But then it's one of those things, I'm going to be honest, I don't like the creator of the series. Still gotta wait a minute before I can eat some more food. I gotta wait a minute before I can eat some more food and maybe get somewhere up a little bit higher. I'm thinking just up to the top and left, and then I can rest. What about for yourself? Like, any series in particular that you just never could get into? Yeah, didn't like him either. Yeah, I mean, I watched the documentaries that came out on YouTube about him, and it's like, oh, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's does have an appeal, but oh, you're not that great of a person. Which is kind of funny, because that's exactly sort of the same thing that happened to Mojang. And Minecraft, of all things. Yeah, GTA, I'm the same way. I could never get into GTA. It's kind of funny. We talk about Minecraft as a series being owned by Mojang and Microsoft. And the original creator of Minecraft is like this weird conspiracy theorist who's gone completely off the deep end. But because he's not involved in Minecraft anymore, it's like Minecraft's perfectly fine to play and perfectly fine to enjoy. Because he like sold the company, got paid out, and then decided, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm not gonna use that feature yet. I need another meal. There we go. A little bit of safety. I mean, GTA is fun if you like. I think the thing is, GTA is a fun game if you like to role play. Ooh, I don't want to fall down from there. Hold on. Jump here, go there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Sorry, I'm just trying not to fall. It is a long way down. Ah, didn't make it. Okay, we can do this. I'm up here. Oh, hold on. Jump. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, cool. Almost there.
Found what you're looking for?
Oh, and there's the sun coming up. FIFA. Yeah, sports games I'm the same way. I prefer arcade versions of sports games rather than like where they're a little bit more silly and a little bit more limited. And that's what I really, really enjoy. Oh, heck. Oh, this is absolutely like...
Did you smell the dried fish I have?
This is a view. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of just gushing at the moment because that is a shot and a half. Having climbed up to the top here. I still need to climb that one over there, but I'm going to make that one later on. But having climbed up to the top over here, and then climbing up just as the sun's coming up, oh, that's a nice shot. This is what I love about open world games. Just the feeling of like, can I make it up to there? Yes. How am I going to do it? Let's do it this way. And you get up the top and something like that happens. And it is so beautiful. What? No, that's stupid. Listen, gamers are overrated. Like the idea of a capital G gamer is like super, super overrated.
Now that's quite the discovery. Careful. Shot and all. I need to reach. Hear the thunder.
Cathedral blade. Precipitate. Shape the shapeless.
Tear them to pieces.
Oh. Okay. What was that? Okay, who are you? Yeah, no, the concept of a capital G gamer is like overrated. Goal 1, dodge an attack. Knock over a horde 6 times. Finish it with at least 30 seconds remaining. Cool.
All yours. You're welcome. Good. There's no time to waste.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to say? Oh, you like Castlevania, so you're not a gamer. It's always funny as well to flip the argument around. Like, oh, hold on. Messed that up, didn't I? There we go.
Where's the destination?
Like, if someone keeps insisting, oh, you're not a gamer unless you like FIFA and GTA, just throw it on them and say, I don't need to go that way yet. Like, you're not a real gamer unless you like insert a completely random game out of nowhere. Something that you might have played, but like, they probably wouldn't have. Yeah, like, I mean, you could say they're not a real gamer unless they like Dark Souls. Not 1 and not 3. Maybe say something like Dark Souls 3. But whatever it is, it's all silliness, really, in the end. Hold on, where's my quest?
Where's the destination?
The island is quite serene. Here's these islands have deliberately formed a circle, leaving a void in the center.
Good. There's no time to waste.
And that's the sort of thing. It's like, right, whatever someone defines as a gamer, and this is the fun part, when people apply gamer as in, oh, you're not a gamer unless you are someone who likes GTA or FIFA or Call of Duty or something else like that. It's this idea of trying to exclude someone from a hobby that they like. That's why gamers are like a really bad thing. It's a talking robot.
Well, in a sense, yes. They're directly linked to the Tethys system. Their voice frequencies are encoded into languages we can understand. If you think about it, they could be considered a unique living race of their own.
Now just listen to the background here. The moment the talk about ancient games started coming up, we've immediately switched into this retro style 16-bit music track. This is what I'm talking about having music support the mood that is trying to be created by the visual experience. Well, in this case, audio experience of learning. Oh, old video games. Music immediately goes old school.
As for the Tethys system, imagine it as a supercomputer. The Black Shores relies on its calculations to observe, forewarn, and solve anything lament related.
that's the thing, right? The track itself could be fairly simplistic, which this is probably going to loop fairly shortly. I think that's the looping point with the little kick. Like when it has the kick and maybe the floor tom or whatever else is going on in there, the 16-bit equivalent, the track starts looping.
Anyway,
Your background music, whatever you're thinking about for your game, doesn't have to be overwhelmingly complex. It doesn't have to be these long, grandiose pieces.
Of the Black Shores.
They can be short, sharp tracks that loop after, say, 30 seconds. But they create the mood, or they support the mood that is being created by the visual experience. Unless you were designing a game that is like audio based, in which case they're the primary experience, but that's a separate thing. You're talking about making Castlevania. A music artist that has never interested me, easy, Taylor Swift. I remember this one joke about every Taylor Swift song, including a certain chord progression, and it's like, yep, probably is the case.
That's comforting. Hey, you could give the abnormal frequency to Coup Money. They'll handle
And
the
again, it
upload.
comes down to different interests. Let's not deny that Taylor Swift is popular or successful at what she does, or that she's been in the industry for as long as she has, as supported as she was in the industry.
How's the upload? Already sent the data back to Tethys?
Look at Mr. Moneybags over here looking like he's straight out of a Monopoly game. But yeah, it's one of those things where music is actually... Oh, I have a personal joke of mine. I probably shouldn't say it, but you know what? Last week, there was this one time where Taylor Swift had a boyfriend in a relationship. They split up. She jumps into another relationship. And on the next album that she puts out, there's a track about breaking up with an ex. And I joked that Taylor Swift really needed the songwriting material. Please, even if that is not the case, I'm still standing by the fact that it's a really bad joke.
The Tethys system has been shaky lately. You've noticed, right? What's worse, along with the data, we've received some terrible news. The bloom bearers we sent to the port city Guizhou. We lost them all.
Well, other people will write the tracks. Like, there's a full team of writers, producers, instrumentalists behind every successful... I call them like a lot of the major pop artists, like Beyonce, Taylor Swift. Who else comes to mind? Heck, Coldplay put out this new track very recently. And it's got like Coldplay as the band, plus like 4 or 5 other artists on it.
Since
And
you're
that's the
linked to
sort of
Tethys'
thing where
data
it's
bank,
like
can you check if there's a bloom bearer
more
named
and more
Hoda
people,
registered?
start collaborating in music. And the thing is, I don't disagree with the track. I think collaboration is one of those things that really, really gets lost when someone hits a certain level of popularity. Like, I'm trying to think of the last time Taylor Swift actually collaborated with another artist on one of her popular tracks. And I know Taylor Swift has collaborated with other artists in terms of other things like songwriting. She jumped on with Ed Sheeran for some of his tracks on, I believe it was Divide, the album. And she collaborated with him on some of the songwriting for that. But artists actually collaborating with each other, it feels like the higher up someone goes, the less likely they are to collaborate with someone else.
She might have something to do with the deaths of our people.
Oh, bloody money bags over here.
Says Mr. Cheapskate.
Ooh, money?
That's not fair. You've never given me that much before.
No, no, no. I think Swifty fans are fine as they are. They're not malicious. They're not cruel or mean-spirited or anything like that. They don't need serious help. I just think that, you know, surely there's got to be other
True money
things
is
to listen
right.
to that are a bit better
Just
than
in case,
constantly
the
listening to
Tethys
Taylor
is very
Swift.
likely to send out a warning to Jinzhou about an imminent lament.
You got to get a
in the
little bit
port
of
city
variety, a little
Guishu.
bit of spice in your life.
As for Hoda, if she's a bloom bearer, there should be a record of her in the system. And if such a resonator existed, the Black Shores would definitely know.
Keeping an eye on the time, and I'm going,
Hold on. There's another possibility. Yeah, that's one possibility. Not to worry, if the machine route doesn't work, there's another way.
put some spice on your tastes.
Let's go to the greenhouse.
And here's the fun part
Most
where
of
we
us
get
like
to loop
gather
back to
there.
British
And
food
Monica,
again.
Our chief administrator, is stationed
go,
there as well.
Geez, British food. Need more spice and more flavor. Wait, can I cash this out? No, I can't cash it out.
Hey, what's in your mind? You ever play those RPGs? Each character's got a backstory, right?
And we're just talking about video
these
games.
Robots are no different.
I mean, the British will say their food is fine, but I mean, you look at it, it doesn't look that appealing.
The Tethys system gives them all their own personalities. Take Kumani, for instance. Tethys programmed it to be a crafty deal maker. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll come across a robot you really click with. Once you're ready, we'll head over to the greenhouse and meet Monica.
Baked beans and everything. Oh, that is so true. It's like, it's baked beans, boiled vegetables. No, I think that's more, sorry, this might be a bit more British Australian. But it's like, hold on, let me just see if I've got teleports around the place. I do have teleports around the place, which is fine. Still don't have that one. Just want to see 1020. I have 2. 1600. I'm just trying to see if I'm going to get enough for like a quick 10 pull. Hold on, if I take that... Nope, I'm still short. I'm just trying to see if I can get one quick gamble attempt on the gacha. I'm playing a gacha game. I've got to try and get one of them in. With 200, I might be able to do it, theoretically. Hold on, let me try to quickly hammer through this.
Alto, there you are. And this is...
The rover just arrived. She's the one we invited earlier.
Oh, hold on. I completely forgot about this one feature they added into the game. If I press skip... Sorry. This summary feature, it got added into the game only with the last patch. The mashed potato
so
and beans.
This is related to that abnormal frequency.
And I'm gonna go... Hold on. Yeah, the mashed potato and beans.
I'm frustrated with myself. Got too careful. I thought we
Okay,
could easily
skip.
resolve that issue by uploading the data we need to figure out who's... Yeah, the Black Shore. And if you're after the truth, actually
All right.
coup money with higher clearance. All right, but this is your chance. If anyone has answered, I can't guarantee you'll get... The greenhouse is just...
All right, skip. Cool. Maybe if you're depressed, you'll eat British food. I feel like if you want some rain to enter around, that's when you go eat British food.
Finally got through. Hey, you scared us to death. Glad to know you're all right. Yeah, just so you know, we got the Black Shore's warning, so we cranked up the defenses in Jinzhou. The Midnight Rangers are preparing to secure the port city of Guishu, and as for the balloon bearers who have passed, we'll bring their bodies back to the Black Shores.
Yeah, no, I think
Black
British
Shores
food.
hold many answers for you.
Yeah, I think the one that I'd be
memories,
kind of curious to try...
your
Actually, you know what? If I picked a random country in the world to go eat the food from,
Though the road ahead is
that'd be a
uncertain,
fun question.
I hope you
It's
find
kind of
the
funny when we
truth
start
you
thinking
seek.
about food where we would eat from. There's a bunch of places in your brain that you'll start going, yeah. And the moment you start entering certain regions, you kind of be like, no, I'm not
Please
sure.
remember, you
Like, for
never
me,
have to bear the weight
If I were to say
alone.
go through Southeast Asia, I'd be like, yes.
We are here with you.
Maybe not the moment I start
Always.
hitting something like very traditional Chinese food. But anything before that, from like Australia up to that point, is like, yes. European food, I go, let's say French, German, Spanish, Italian, Like, say, Germany heading eastwards, all open to the plate. The moment I hit Britain, it's like, no. Specifically Great Britain. You skip around Great Britain, you go to Ireland or Scotland, you say yes. Italian food. Italian food's quite interesting. I actually love the differences between traditional Italian pasta and like the way Italian and pasta's made in like Western cultures. Oh, hold on.
Surging forward.
Made it. Made it. Ooh, water. And key plants. I still like the box designs and the stupid little hats on them. Please plant a flower. Okay. Alto is the character we're talking to. Encore is the kid that Alto looks after, is also more powerful. Camellia is a character who gets introduced, who's been introduced already, but we don't see him here because they're not that important. Woke up to a big... How did you wake up to a big chicken in your room? Like, what, because the window open and the chicken's just flapped its way in and decided to make itself comfy? Alright, looks like we're not planting a flower after all. Oh, that's kind of funny. It's like... Listen, the chicken loves it. Getting in. Is it like from a coop where you raise chickens, or is it just like a wandering random chicken? Wandering chicken. That's even funnier. Unfortunately, you know, it's not safe to adopt random chickens out in the middle of nowhere. But just the thought of like, you wake up one day and there's a chicken in the house and it's made itself comfortable on your chairs and it's like being served breakfast. Your mum goes, yeah, you gotta say hi to little Jimbo over here or whatever that she decides to name the chicken. Unfortunately, the piano animation is not lining up with the music. If the piano animation was lining up with the music, that'd be even cooler.
Ah, do you know how to play the piano?
I had to take it out. The husky. Oh, yeah, no, true. Huskies probably would have done so. And inside the house, it would have been super messy.
I guess the Black Shores have earned their mysterious reputation. They even have a self-playing piano. So you do know how to play.
Oh, they're trying to animate the fingers here. I was just watching the fingers.
I don't have a musical bone in me, but that sounded good.
They tried to animate the fingers, but it maybe didn't quite look right.
In every sound and frequency lies an emotion. Just like this. Expressing what's on your mind.
The chicken had
through
nice colored
music.
feathers, though. If you could remember the colors on the feathers,
It's something even
you
you
could
can
use
do.
those sorts of chickens and color
it
them
a
in on
try,
the
won't you?
sprites for chickens running around in whatever villages you have. Unfortunately, walled chicken's still going to look about the same as always. But it would be funny if you like, instead of, like for every number of chickens, walled chickens someone found, you had like a little hidden achievement that they whip it and an actual live chicken comes out. And you still get the health, but instead of it being like a walled chicken, it's just a live chicken.
Hey, wake up! What was that?
Oh yeah, our character's an amnesiac of all things.
It's just been the two
Blue
of
should
us
have
here this whole
brown
time.
feathers on it.
Whoa! Another earthquake!
Oh, there's a lot of earthquakes.
What's happening? Run! We need to get out of here!
Am I still going further? I think so.
Hey, Rover, can you hear me? There.
I just skipped someone's story, didn't I? I actually did. Whoops. Didn't want to do that. Yeah, bluish with brown feathers. I would have imagined if it was like brown with bluish feathers on the tinge, but bluish with brown feathers. Maybe it was like the color of the lighting or something, do you think? Look at the whole place and how it's changed. This is actually quite impressive as well. Okay, you key. What are we doing? So, plus... Hold on. Oh, press and hold. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get through a full summon, but maybe I'll get a little bit.
Befuddle my foes.
Whoop. Come on, I'm here. Oh no, they want me to talk. Hold on. Let me see. Do I have just enough? I need to speak. So, 10 pool is like 1600 in this game. Hold on. Let me see. 1600. Feeling of the heart. You mean like indigestion? 1121. I don't have enough. All right, I know what I'm doing. We'll go to the store. And I'll item exchange for a single one of these. Yeah, it's just indigestion probably. Alright, gambling time. I think I might do this and then I'll wrap things up here because that's about the 2-hour mark. Yeah, indigestion. If you've got something for indigestion, take it. Otherwise, kind of have to relax, slow down a little bit on eating, something like that. It's not going to kill you, theoretically. All right, let's go gambling. No. Oh, dang it. Yeah, actually, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, estate agents, listen.
Anything I can
Some
help
people
you.
should not be in careers, and some careers should not exist. I firmly believe real estate agents are one of those careers that should not exist. I actually don't even need the last one. I just need that one. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I'm going to wrap things up here. I honestly just wanted to get a feel for this area. I might explore it in my own time later on, but honestly, I love rambling at times. I don't just like the little things that come up. So yeah, I will probably call things here. Friday will be Ender Lilies. Theoretically, if I finish the game in a half decent time, I can get a little bit more extra time out of it for something quick. Hopefully, though, I'm thinking I'm in the last area for Ender Lilies. And then maybe it's like last area and then up to the boss and work things out from there. But otherwise, I will call things here. So, as always, if you've been watching along or you're watching after the fact, I'd like to thank you very much for your time. And I do hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah, like I said, Friday, I'll have the Discord set up. All right, take care, take care.